Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of the show with no name. And today's not just any ordinary day. It's Friday, and it's Friday right before a holiday. So, folks, hop on board.
9, 8, 7.
It's
6,
time for,
5,
you know it.
4, 3.
Come on.
2.
Liftoff time.
0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Happy Easter, amigos. It's right around the corner.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts.
Hold on to your hats.
Get ready for the ride of your life.
It's the show with no
name. It's the show with no name.
Come on. I need your help, folks. Let's go. Come on, all aboard. TGIF. I'm sure many of you will be taking it easy next week, or at least Maundy Thursday and Holy, well, we call it, it's interesting, we don't call it Holy Friday. Nope. You want to know what we call it? I'll tell you. But don't forget, there's an upcoming episode of FYI on Easter. Oh, yeah. That's right, amigos. And I'll give you all that vocabulary. But either way, Viernes Santo, we don't normally say Holy Friday. Does anybody know what we say? We say Good Friday. I always tell my students, remember this sentence. Have a good Friday. Que tengas buen Viernes Santo. And that is, when is that? That's next Friday. So some of you will have the whole week off. Some of you will just have a couple days off. The show with no name will be taking a break next week. But we will be back in April. Ready for that rain. You guys say it too. Something similar, right? April showers bring May flowers. ¿Te las sabías? Las lluvias de abril traen flores de mayo. It's a great way to start the show. April showers bring May flowers. All right, folks, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I've got to tell you something, folks. I'm excited. I don't remember the last time I had a full week off. Maybe it was Christmas, perhaps. And that was a long time ago in a valley far, far away from this valley, from this galaxy, and this galaxy known as Vaughn Radio, where we've got all kinds of shows that you can listen to and get hooked on and improve your English.
Howdy, Richard Vaughn here, founder and host of Vaughn Radio. Meet my amazing...
Hello there, this is Julia from the Let's Get Random show. Let's navigate life together, practicing our English.
Hi, this is Kyle Miller. I present the Drive Time Show every day at 6 o'clock on Vaughn Radio.
Hi, this is Jimena.
Y yo soy Nacho.
And you can listen to us every day on Test Your English
A las 12:30.
at 12:30. Tune in!
This is Fitz from No Excuses. Let's get ready to rumble. Come rumble with me on No Excuses.
This is Chris with Frankly Speaking. The doors open every night at 7:30. Let's talk soon.
Hi, this is Dave Boys from The Salad. Join us every day, live at 5.
Hey, it's Alberto Alonso from the show with no name. And don't forget about Rob, Andy, Ruby, and Tino.
Download our free app, Vaughan Radio or Vaughan Radio. And learn English with all of us on the go.
All right, folks, it's time for your pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Sing it. Quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. It is our pop quiz only on the show with no name. And today we're going to take a look at something from one of our most practical materials, natural English. It's available at the Vaughan Tienda, at Amazon, at Casa del Libro. And it's awesome. It's got every kind of situation under the sun. So you've got what to do when you're angry, what to say. It gives you the natural English that you need to express yourself in situations where things are going hunky-dory, donde todo va super guay. And those tough situations, those situations where you're in a bind, in a jam, in a pickle. Did you know those 3 idiomatic expressions? 3 ways to say en un apuro, in a jam, in a pickle. Esa es mi favorita. Estoy en un pepinillo. What? Yeah, I'm in a pickle. I'm in a jam. Jam, I guess, makes sense. Think about a traffic jam. What happens when you're in a traffic jam? Estás atascado. So it makes sense. Estoy en un atasco. Estoy atascado. I'm in a jam, a pickle, a bind. And the word bind comes from the word atar. So if you look at the words, they all really make sense. The book is called Natural English, Tu Guía Definitiva del Inglés Natural. It's just under $25. It's got hours and hours and hours of useful audio that'll help you with expressions, vocabulary, and all that jazz. And you know who it was written by? None other than Ximena Holiday. You know Ximena. You better know Ximena. She's on right after this show every day here at 12:30 on Vaughan Radio. So download the free app and learn English with Ximena on Test Your English and also in the many materials that she has in the Vaughan Tienda. And the one we're going to hear from in today's pop quiz is Natural English. And I want you to pronounce it with me. Natural. I don't even say natural. I say natural. Dos sílabas. Natural. Escucha. Natural. Natural. Not natural. ¿Os fijáis? So that's one thing. That's why the audio is so important. Listen and imitate what you hear. All right, amigos. Well, I'm going to play it for you now, and then I will have a mission for you right after.
Chapter 31, When You're Feeling Stubborn.
Cuando te sientes cabezota. 4 key expressions.
To stick to your guns.
Mantenerse firme en sus 13.
To be pig-headed.
Testarudo, cabezota.
To have your cake and eat it too.
Quererlo todo.
To be set in your ways.
Ser inflexible, ser de ideas fijas.
More useful English. Vocabulary. Remote control.
Mando a distancia.
Set phrases. It's my turn.
Me toca a mí.
You name it.
Lo que sea.
Common mistake.
Ponen en la tele no se dice they put in the TV, sino
Is on TV. Phrasal verb. To sit through.
aguantar mientras estás sentado.
Pronunciation.
De mente cerrada se dice
Closed-minded.
Lucy, I mean it. Give me the remote control.
No way. I'm sticking to my guns, Quentin. I told you it's my turn to choose, and Lost Island is about to start.
You know the rugby's on. It's the big match and they'll be training so hard for it. Come on. You can watch that awful Lost Island thing later.
But it's the Valentine's Day special.
Oh, you can be so pig-headed at times.
Me? Pig-headed? Excuse me, mister, have your cake and eat it. Why do we always have to do what you want to do? I'm standing my ground this time. Every time there's a football match, a rugby match, a hurling match, you name it, I have to sit through it all and watch it, even if there's much better stuff on TV. You're so set in your ways. It's painful.
You don't have to watch anything. No one's forcing you. You're just being stubborn. And anyway, could there be a more boring programme than that rubbish you're watching?
Look at you. You're so close-minded. Lost Island is the best thing on television. Real-life, genuine people looking for love on an island. What more could you want?
Wait, they're naked?
Yeah, they always are in the Valentine's Day special.
Ah, okay, fine. Have it your way. Lost Island it is.
Chapter 32, when you're feeling determined.
cuando te sientes decidido. 4 key expressions.
To set your heart on. To have your heart set on something.
Desear de todo corazón.
To go the whole 9 yards.
Ir a por todas. De todo.
At all costs.
A toda costa. Cueste lo que cueste.
To go against the tide. To swim against the tide.
Ir a contracorriente.
More useful English. Vocabulary. Hints.
Indirectas.
Touring.
De gira.
Common mistake.
Quiero que sepas no se dice I want that you know, sino
I want you to know. Exaggerate. To stop at nothing.
no detenerse ante nada.
Phrasal verb. To pick up on.
Percatarse de.
Pronunciation.
Bombones se dice
Chocolates.
I know you've got your heart set on this, sweetie, so I've gone all out this year. Oh yeah, I've gone the whole 9 yards.
Oh, my love, I'm so excited. What is it?
Look, I can't tell you yet. It's a surprise. But I've gone to great lengths to make this present perfect. I said to myself, I'm going to make this birthday special for her at all costs. So I've been listening to all your hints, and I just want you to know that I've stopped at nothing to arrange this for you.
Miles, really? You picked up on my hints? The ones about...
Let me just say one thing. M.
An M, yes, I can't believe it. I know he's a bit of a wild card, but I just love how he goes against the tide of traditional white stereotypes in the music industry. And he's touring one last time, and I love him so much.
Honey, who are you talking about?
Eminem, obviously. Wait, you have got me tickets to the Eminem tour, right?
Oh, I see. Eminem, the rapper. Right. Well, I thought you were talking about the chocolates, and I had booked us a tour of the M&M store in London.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. That's right, Vaughan Town's little brother, Weekend Town. More information at grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. All right, here's what I have for you guys in our challenge here, our pop quiz. I've got 3 things that I want to see if you got them from the audio. And the first one was about hints, indirectas. You can also say wink, wink, como indirecta, como me pillas, guiño, guiño. But they used the verb, the phrasal verb, that we usually use with the word hint. Que no lo has percatado, no lo has pillado, no lo has captado. Detectar, right? So, I want you to give me that phrasal verb. You can use it with the word hint, or you can use it however you want. The idea is, I want to see if you're using it correctly. And remember to say it aloud. Okay, once we look at it, I want you to say it aloud. All right. Number 2 was another great idiomatic expression. And you can say that this is somebody who is stubborn, hard-headed, as they said, stubborn, hard-headed. As stubborn as a mule, we say the same thing. Or you can say it is somebody who is determined, and they will do whatever it takes to achieve something. Okay? No hay nada que le frene. So you could use, there's one. No hay nada que me va a frenar al hablar inglés o de hablar inglés. See, I don't know the structure in Spanish. That's why it's so important to use the structures. Okay, and the other one, there were 2 expressions that were pretty similar. And one of them is darlo todo. Okay, hacer todo. Ir a muerte, dejar la piel. And the other one they said, which is related in some way, you can give me either one. What I want to know is that you know it, was el paquete completo. So you can give me either one in that last one. Darlo todo, which was something about, bueno, no te voy a decir nada. Dejarse la piel, okay? Or you can give me the other one, which was el paquete completo, todo posible. All right, amigos, those are your 3 words in today's pop quiz. 3 words, 3 idiomatic expressions. And I'm going to leave it up to you to see if you know them. And in the meantime, I think what I'm going to give you is today's Say What soundbite. Say what? What? Say what soundbite? Say what soundbite? On the show with no name. Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Happy Easter, everybody. You can tell I love Easter, right? Well, it's not just the holiday, it's the time of year. The flowers are blooming. There's a different smell in the air. The smell of life, of growth, of turning over a new leaf. Buena expresión. Leaf es una hoja, but it's also pasar página, the expression to turn over a new leaf. We'll take a look at that in the upcoming episode of FYI on Easter. This week, we're taking a look at propaganda. The episode dropped just about 2 hours ago. You can listen to FYI wherever you listen to your Vaughn podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio. That's a new one where Vaughn is as well. Did I say iVox? Did I say Spotify, Apple? Well, wherever you want to listen, we're there. And if not, let us know. Maybe we didn't know the platform existed. Hey, there are new podcast platforms popping up every day. I use Apple personally just because it's the only one I really ever used. That's not true, because I have listened to podcasts on Spotify and also on iVox. But the one I use regularly, the one that's my podcast player, that's Apple. And it's great. Podcasts are awesome because you can be preparing dinner and learning about gardening or about history or learning English while you're working out at the gym. I really think podcasts, especially for people who are restless, gente que es un poco inquieta, restless people like me. I don't want to sit down and watch, a full series or 3 episodes. I don't want to watch a full movie, especially these days when most movies are pretty crappy, in my opinion. Well, I come from a time when there was blockbuster after blockbuster. Those of you who are in your mid-40s, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, podcasts, movies, however you want to learn, make sure you surround yourself with English. All right, well, this one, I'm not going to say anything. I won't say anything because this one's going to be really interesting. It's not, let's put it this way. This person's accent is nothing like mine, but you'll know that in the first second. All right, here we go, my amigos. The Say What soundbite for the first time.
Does he provide a home for you to live in? Does he provide food for you to eat? Males have a tendency to wander a little bit. And what you want to do is to make a home so wonderful that he doesn't want to wander.
What? What are you talking about? Well, here's a little clue for you. Welcome, my charismatic congregation. This is Reverend Alonzo, and we are gathered here today to take a gander at the good book, the word of the Lord, the gospel, the sacred scriptures. Call it what you will, my cheerful churchgoers. I can feel your faith as it flows through every inch of your being, brothers and sisters. Can I get a hallelujah? Praise God. Can I get an amen? Amen. Sing it.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Knock it off, Alberto. That's blasphemous.
Oops. My bad, Mom.
Join us as we find out all about the Bible on this week's episode of FYI.
Welcome to For Your Info. English. You got it. So it's got something to do with the Bible, huh? Well, that was the Bible episode of FYI with my mama. If you haven't listened to it, in fact, I made both episodes available to everybody. So listen to them. It's a lot of fun. My mother and I end up singing in the episodes. And really, it's you can't script this stuff. And I knew that, too. My mom said, what should I prepare? Should I work on a script? I go, no. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I'm not going to throw you any curveballs. A curveball is una pregunta inesperada o algo inesperado. It comes from baseball. We've looked at the expression before. Well, if you haven't heard them, they're very, very special episodes of FYI, and you can listen to both of them wherever you get your podcasts. Right now, folks, we're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got so much stuff to cover here on today's program. And today's a really special show because when I say goodbye, it's going to be for a week. It's not that long. But when you haven't had a week off in a while, man, it's nice to get some R&R, some rest and relaxation. Well, yeah, R&R can be rock and roll too. But from the context here, I need rest and relaxation more than I need rock and roll. Well, we're going to rock and roll throughout the rest of today's show, so I hope you'll join us after this quick commercial break. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with no name. Exciting stuff today. Oh, everybody take a deep breath with me. What are your plans, folks? Tell me in the comments. What are you planning to do? Or what are you planning on doing? Practica la estructura que menos conoces. I'll tell you both. I'll give you my answers. I'm planning to go to Almeria. I'm planning on going to Almeria. See? There you go. What are you planning on doing? Or what are you planning to do? I'll be down there for the week with the family. If it's the same as usual, then we're going to be expecting some bad weather. Always. It's the curse. La maldición. The Easter week curse. Yeah. When it rains, it pours. ¿Te sabes esta expresión? Cuando llueve, llueve a cántaros. Que llueve muchísimo. A saco. And this is for good things and bad things. No, me han tocado muchas cosas buenas, me han tocado muchas cosas malas. When it rains, it pours. Welcome back, amigos. Welcome to part 2, and welcome to Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones, show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. Show with no name. Show with no homophones.
Showing no.
Showing no.
Showing no. Showing no. All right, amigos, let's take a look at today's homophones. I think you're familiar with both of these words. They aren't too difficult, at least in my opinion. They're pretty common words. Sometimes I give you words that aren't as common. Both of these words are, in basic everyday use. Maybe not every day, but you use these words pretty often. They're part of the used language, the spoken language. All right? The first word is a fruit. A fruit. And it's a fruit that, I was going to say con forma de pera, pero claro, it's a pera. So, pera, the fruit pera. I was going to say it's similar to an apple, but it's con forma de pera, which we'll look at, porque también es una expresión en inglés. Las cosas han ido en forma de pera. I think you guys will laugh at that one. Okay. The second word is pareja. The second word is pareja. Okay. O par. Una pareja. Un par de cosas. All right. First word is a fruit, pera. And the second word is un par de cosas. Okay. Un par de cosas o pareja de cosas. All right, amigos, here we go with your Say What soundbite for the second time. Yeah, is it the second time? Yeah, second time. Here we go.
Does he provide a home for you to live in? Does he provide food for you to eat? Males have a tendency to wander a little bit. And what you want to do is to make a home so wonderful that he doesn't want to wander.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know where this guy from, but he's got some kind of accent, but he's definitely not from my neck of the woods. I'll tell you that right now, boy. Oh, no way. No sirree, boy. All right. Well, good luck with today's. Don't worry. As I said, sometimes it's harder than other times. But again, that's life, How many times has it happened to me in a typical day in Spain? I talk to one person and they understand me perfectly, and I understand them perfectly, the butcher or whoever, or el carnicero. And then I'm talking to somebody else, the bus driver, and it looks like we're talking two different languages. So sometimes it's about energy, too. It's about, we're magnets, somos imanes, and not all magnets. A lot of times they repel each other as well if you get the positive and the negative charge. So, my amigos, let me give it to you right now a third time, and hopefully somebody will be able to give us some of it, or at least their opinion on it. Here's your Say What soundbite for the third time. And if you remember before, I played the FYI intro from the Bible, so maybe it has something biblical? I don't know. Well, here we go.
Does he provide a home for you to live in? Does he provide food for you to eat? Males have a tendency to wander a little bit. And what you want to do is to make a home so wonderful that he doesn't want to wander.
Do you know about Vaughn groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and classmates throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal! As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831. Or you can go to our website, grupovaughn.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media. and find out if Vaughn groups are for you. More information at grupovaughn.com/ do you know what I'm going to say? Cursos destacados. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. I've got a lot of people participating in our homophones section, and let's see what you folks came up with. All right, the first word is pear. I want you to say it with me because you don't know how many times I've heard this word mispronounced. Seriously, hundreds. If I had a nickel, 5 céntimos, for every time I've heard this mispronounced, I would be a rich man right now. So, say it with me. The first word is pear. Pear. Okay? It rhymes with air. Es como la palabra aire con una P delante. So, pair, share, compartir, dare, atrever, fair, justo o feria, dependiendo cómo lo escribes. So the first word, say it with me, pear, pear. And yes, we do say it for breasts as well, peras. Hey, I didn't make it up, but I think you need to know it. Nice pears can mean nice lolas, you say too, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, this is part of the language too. It's part of the human body. Just don't be gross. Pear, pear. Say it with me 10 times so you never say peer again, because I've heard so many people say peer. And peer sounds like two other words. Peer sounds like muelle, okay, which is P-I-E-R, muelle o embarcadero. Peer. P-I-E-R, or peer, P-E-E-R, que es tu par, tu colega, tu igual, right? My peers. A lot of times we talk about peer pressure, esta presión social que tienen los niños, pero ¿de dónde viene? De sus iguales, de sus compañeros, de sus pares, right? So, a lot of people, let's go back because I don't want to confuse you more. I want to clear it up in the end. The first word, pear, does not sound like pier, muelle, P-I-E-R, or peer, igual, P-E-E-R. Now, the question is, does it sound like the second word I gave you, which is pareja o par? Let's say, te voy a dar un par de peras. No, dos pares, así los hacemos en plural. I'm going to give you 2 pairs of pears. Yes. They are homophones. Awesome job, folks. So peer is a homophone with those 2 words we looked at, embarcadero, muelle, and igual. I'm going to meet my peers on the pier. No se escriben igual, son homófonos. Y pair y pareja, pair, pareja, pair, E-A-R, que espera, are pronounced exactly the same. And I think that's easy to remember. I'm going to meet my peers on the pier. We're going on a cruise. And we're going to eat a pair of pears. Again, great job to everybody who nailed it. All right, well, we've got to take a look at today's pop quiz. I got a lot of people figuring that out as well. So wonderful job, Show with No Namers. Thank you so much for your participation. Day after day, year after year, and now decade after decade. Wow, that's really mind-blowing. Decade after decade. What? Yeah. Jeez Louise. All right, amigos. The first expression, or it wasn't really, well, it's an expression because they're words that tend to go together. Again, all of this is coming straight out of the book Natural English, Tu Guía Definitiva del Inglés Natural, which is available at vaughntienda.com, baby. Well, I added the baby part. Don't put vaughntienda.com, baby, /baby. That's what Alberto said. No, the baby was, just to add emphasis. All right, so I hinted at it, but he didn't pick up on it. To hint, and that's important. That's why I wanted you to use it in context. What are you hinting at? ¿En qué me estás intentando decir? ¿Qué es la indirecta? To hint at something. Are you trying to hint at something? Because I'm not picking up on it. Yes, to hint. So they go together. Use them together if they go together. And I know you know the word hint, similar to the word clue. But a lot of times people give you a hint and you don't pick up on it. And that's an interesting one because it's got two prepositions, to pick up on. So don't learn it as pick up on. Learn it as, are you picking up on it? Or did it go over your head? There's another excellent idiomatic expression. I'm sorry. I didn't pick up on what you were saying. It went over my head. What are you hinting at, miss? And as I always tell you guys, you have to speak aloud. I don't have anyone to speak with. Talk to yourself. Who's better company than you? My show with no namers. All right. The second one is to be determined, to be ruthless, right? You will achieve this no matter what the cost. Blood, sweat, and tears. It doesn't matter. You'll sacrifice everything because you will stop at nothing to learn English. You will stop at nothing. O sea, nada te frenará. Lo quería destacar porque la estructura es un poco rara. You can say nothing will stop you. You're unstoppable. But let's put it in context. He will stop at nothing to get his way. ¿No? Hará lo que sea para salirse con la suya. Think of somebody. We all know somebody who will stop at nothing. You guys will stop at nothing. You'll die trying. Right? That's another expression we have. Poco más dramático, evidentemente. Because you, my students, you go all out. You go the extra mile. And this is hacer más de lo que se espera de ti. To go all out. Darlo todo. Dejarse la piel. You will stop at nothing to learn English. You go all out every day here on the show. And you guys give me the whole 9 yards. Me dais el paquete completo. So thank you, my amigos. It's funny because, again, it's all about perspective there. Think about that. You know, we said this is something that has to do with being stubborn, right? Being hard-headed. But also it's about being determined and doing what you set out to do. And I think that people who are ambitious and have a clear calling or a passion for what they want to do, those people will stop at nothing. And that's you, Show with No Namers. So excellent job in our pop quiz. All right, now we're going to go to a very special place, a place where I learned English. We're going to my school. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to the movies. Name that movie. Oh, and I told you guys, how can I forget? I told you guys that I was going to teach you an expression with algo de forma de pera. All right, well, an expression, when things go pear-shaped, acaban mal. Van de culo, piénsalo. Van de culo abajo. So, man, how did the business go? You started a new business. Man, things went pear-shaped. Acabaron mal, salieron del culo, fueron de pena. Ponerse color de hormiga. Irse a hacer puñetas, ir al traste, irse a pique, Volverse la tortilla. What? Jeez Louise. I didn't know you had so many ways to say that things didn't go well or as planned. But an idiomatic expression that comes with the word pear, which we looked at in homophones, is when things go pear-shaped. All right, let's take a look at today's Name That Movie. As always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a little excerpt from the movie. This is a fairly recent movie, so I imagine some of you may have even seen this one in the movie theaters. The British say in the cinema, but we say in the theaters, in movie theaters or in the theaters. All right, well, here we go. Here's your trailer, my amigos. When oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under the Osage Nation land, the Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery. Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace. Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. Es la bomba. That's right. This book is the shit, my latest book. And remember, you've got the whole series. You've got This Book is the Milk, This Book is the Milk 2, and This Book is the Shit, the latest one. So you got the trilogy there. And then you've got 2 other books of mine, which is English Everywhere, 40 different chapters, 40 situations, and a lot of little English tricks and notes and things like that. And then you've got another one, which is for people with itchy feet. And those are people who want to travel. And that book is called English on the Go, Aprende Inglés Viajando por el Mundo. And what I do in that book is show you that, the way I like to learn. How did I learn the word sortie when I was at Charles de Gaulle Airport? How did I learn the word salida when I was in Puerto Rico on a highway? It's funny how you even remember when and how you learned the words so many decades later. But I'll never forget it. We were driving in the car, and I said to my mom, I go, Mom, why does it say salad everywhere? Yo pensaba que era ensalada. So, but you live and learn, as we say in English. Live and learn. Así vamos aprendiendo. So what it does, the book, it teaches you that you can learn when you go to a city by learning about its history, about its food, definitely about the way they speak. Because even in the United States, if you go from Boston to New York, we all speak English, right? Boston, New York, Chicago, but then we all have our own pronunciation and we all have our own slang words as well. All right, amigos, let's see. We've got some winners. Today's Name That Movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. Also, Lily Gladstone. And it was directed by the one and only Marty Scorsese. Well, I can call him Marty because we're friends. All right, not really, but I wish. That would be awesome. Well, this is that story here. And it reminded me in the trailer there at the end, it says to unravel the mystery. So if something is raveled, está enrollado, desenrollar, right? A ver cómo lo dicen, unravel. Ay, se me olvida la palabra exacta a veces. Descocer, no, venirse abajo, desmoronarse. But also, if you unravel, es descoserse, like un hilo o algo así. So you recognize it? Any fans of Big Bang Theory out there? It all was a mystery that's, how does it go? Unraveling the mystery that started all, it all started with a Big Bang. Excuse me, I haven't heard it in a while, but I know that they say in that very popular song, unraveling the mystery. That all started with the Big Bang. Have any of you seen this movie? I'm a huge Martin Scorsese fan, and when I saw the trailer, I really thought it was a good idea. But the name was weird, Killers of the Flower Moon. And then when I heard from some people I trust that the movie was okay, regulín, well, then I was like, oh no. And then when I saw the running time, 3 hours and 26 minutes. I'm sorry, Marty. I love you. We're friends, but not that much. All right, folks. Well, we'll take a look at the scene, the dialogue from this scene when we come back. We'll also take a look at today's Double Trouble. We've got our Say What soundbite, famous birthdays. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to do before we wrap up for the week and go on vacay. You say vacas, we say vacay. No sois los únicos que acortáis las palabras. Folks, we'll be right back with tons more Show with No Name, so stick around. Hello, amigos, and welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of today's Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Are you going to miss me next week? Well, don't worry. I'll be posting on social media. Not too much. Maybe I'll do a live stream. Do you guys want me to do a live stream? Maybe one morning when I'm going for a walk on the beach. and I'm feeling all inspired and I'm reflecting, I'll do a live video. Would you guys be up for it? ¿Os apetecería? That's how much I miss you guys. I connect with you on my vacation. I hope you guys are enjoying, or I should say going to enjoy, Easter week to the max. It's a very big holiday in the United States. I think it's just second to Christmas. You got Christmas, Easter, and then Thanksgiving. I think those are the big ones. Oh, of course. How could I forget? The 4th of July. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Oh, sorry. I get all patriotic sometimes. It's interesting. Am I a nationalist or a patriot? Sounds different. He's a nationalist. Doesn't sound as nice as a patriot. Well, either way, I love my country. Both of my countries. Spain and the United States. That doesn't mean I like the government in either one. But I love my countries. That's what makes me sad about the current state of affairs. But I'm not going to get into politics right now. Hell no. Not here, not now, not ever. It's time for today's Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, folks. It's time for Double Trouble. And I just gave you a clue. If you were listening to the title of the movie, well, there's your clue. Una pista, a little hint, que hemos usado la palabra como indirecta, pero también significa pista. So, here we go. Él decidió hacerles calvos a sus compis rara vez. Okay, it was a conscious decision he made. So, él decidió hacerles calvos a sus compis rara vez. Okay, de vez en cuando, pero rara vez, más tirando para rara vez. Decidió hacerles calvos a sus compis. You can say his peers, para practicar esa palabra que vimos, rara vez. No mucho, pero bueno, de vez en cuando ahí saca el culete. All right? There's your double trouble. Good luck. You have to use the same word twice. Also, let me give you guys today's Say What soundbite for the 4th and final time.
Does he provide a home for you to live in? Does he provide food for you to eat? Males have a tendency to wander a little bit. And what you want to do is to make a home so wonderful that he doesn't want to wander.
Stop making resolutions and start making progress with your English in the new year. We've got something for everyone under the sun. Every level, every age, every budget. Grupo Vaughn has got you covered no matter what you're looking for. Whether it be master's courses, group or one-to-one classes, either online or in person. Vaughntown, a true immersion experience. Disney English and Vaughan Jr. for the kids. Oxford Test of English. Camps for kids of all ages. Online courses. And a wealth of other resources at vaughntienda.com. Stop by one of our centers for a free level test or a sample class from one of our top teachers. Why wait? There's no time like the present. Start the year off on the right foot. You can contact us at our website, grupovaughn.com, or give us a call at 911-385831. And make sure you're following us on social media. Let's get going. Pongámonos en marcha. All right. Let's get going with our double trouble over here. And I see we've got a few people who have figured it out. Nice round of applause. Show with no namers. He decided to moon his co-workers. Now be careful. A couple people put to moon to, and we don't use to there. So it's he mooned me. Es un verbo regular. So he decided to moon his co-workers once in a blue moon. There you go, folks. You probably know the song Blue Moon, right? Blue moon, you saw me standing a blue, blue moon, dip, 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 blue, blue moon. And since holidays are right around the corner, I might as well tell you that Blue Moon is also a delicious brew. Do you know what a brew is? A beer. It's a delicious beer that's very popular in the United States. And they usually serve it with a little orange wedge. It's delicious. My mouth is watering. All right, so he decided to moon his coworkers once in a blue moon. Great job, amigos. All right, we also have to take a look at our movie over here, which is Killers of the Flower Moon. One of, I think it is Scorsese's latest movie. It came out in 2023. And let's take a look over here and see what we've got. This is a scene between William Hale and Ernest Burkhart. And William says, "This supposed to be a suicide, you dumbbell." And a dumbbell es un mancuerno, I think, something that you lift weights with. But a dumbbell es un tontorrón, too, because dumb es tonto. La B de dumb es muda, pero no la de bell. So cuando lo unes, it's dumbbell. This supposed to be a suicide, you dumbbell. Tontorrón, you didn't tell him to leave the gun. No le dijiste que dejara el arma, la pistola. Remember the verb leave? That's a very common verb because it's marcharse. And it's an irregular verb. Leave, left, left. And then Ernest answers, "I don't know why. I told him to leave the gun. I told him." See, it's we don't say him. And William says, "Told him to leave the gun?" And Ernest says, "Just like you told me, King. Como me dijiste, King. I don't know why he didn't. No sé por qué no lo hizo. I don't know why." See, I would say why, but in the South, they say why. Why? It's como una A. I don't know why. Try and imitate it. I don't know why. I told him just like you told me. Told. I told him just like you told me. Sounds kind of like the person in our Say What soundbite today. So then William Hale says, "You told him to do it in front of the head, delante de la cabeza. Then why did you do it in the back of the head?" Porque lo hizo en la parte de atrás, en la nuca. It's so simple. The front is the front, and the back is the back. And then Ernest says, "Well, maybe he has to make it look like he done it himself." Now, this is a very Southern way of speaking. I told you he done it instead of he did it. Usan el participio. Pero no le copies, just so you know it, so you're aware. So maybe he has to make it look like he done it himself. And then William says, "It just looks like murder." And I want you to pronounce that word, because that's muchos dicen murder. No, es como si la U fuera una E. Murder. And he says, "It's not supposed to be that way. You hear? No, se supone que no tiene que ser así. ¿Me oyes? ¿Me escuchas?" And then Ernst says, I told him the front of the head. And I said, the front of the head, just like this. And he gestures, gesticula, just like you told me. I promise you. I promise you. And there's another word that I've heard mispronounced a lot. ¿Decís promise? O en algún momento habíais dicho promise? Well, promise me you'll never say it like that again. Promise. Pinky swear. Pinky swears con los deditos pequeños. And in that next line, he says, I swear on my children. Y ahí tienes la estructura, lo juro por. So I swear on my grandfather. I swear on my children. Lo juro por tal. The word swear is an irregular verb. So it's swear, swore, sworn. And it also means decir palabrotas. Then William Hale says, no, 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 no. And Ernest says, I swear on my children, King. And then William says, now settle down. And to settle or to settle down is relájate. But not just in the sense of you're a little bit nervous now. You need to settle down. But it's also sentar la cabeza. Like in life, stop being like a party animal, live a more serious life, to settle down. But in this context, is cálmate, okay? But again, it can mean cálmate, calmar la cabeza, in the figurative sense. So then he says, settle down. Don't swear on your children. It makes you look foolish. Te hace parecer tonto. Foolish. And then Ernest says, I'm not. Pero claro, en jerga, I ain't. Yo siempre recomiendo, a no ser que seas un rockero, no uses el ain't. Un rockero o un sureño. Y un sureño rockero, bueno, ya tienes doble excusa. But I would avoid ain't because it sounds like, you heard the way they speak. This is they're uneducated people. So avoid ain't, okay? Even though it's a word and it's in the dictionary, avoid it. So he goes, I ain't foolish because I've done everything right. Porque yo he hecho todo correcto. If you haven't seen the movie, check it out. But you need a whole morning or a whole afternoon. All right, amigos, it's time for Famous Birthday Trivia. That's right, my amigos. It's famous birthdays here on the show with no name. And let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. The first person was born in the year 1945. 1945. And the guy is a screenwriter. A screenwriter is somebody who writes for the screen. Guionista de película. A playwright is somebody who writes for the stage. So this guy's a screenwriter and also a producer. He has been nominated 6 times for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay. So the guy is really good at taking a book or an idea and turning it into a screenplay. Now, he didn't win all of those times, but he won for Forrest Gump. And he also earned a Best Picture nomination for Mank. But some of the movies that he's been nominated for, Forrest Gump, as I just said, which he won, The Insider, which is an amazing movie. Wow, what a movie. The Insider with Russell Crowe and, what's his name? Not De Niro, Pacino. Also, Munich, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, A Star is Born, the one with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, and Dune, which I haven't seen. But again, all of these have been nominated for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay, with Forrest Gump snatching it. And I love Forrest Gump. Isn't that an awesome movie? Also, he also worked on other ones, such as Ali, the one about Muhammad Ali with Will Smith, and the Western crime drama Killers of the Flower Moon. Does that sound familiar? Sure it does. It was today's Name That Movie. Were you paying attention? Well, once in a blue moon, de vez en cuando. All right, number 2. Let's take a look at number 2. This guy was born today in 1930. He is an 2021. Oh, a couple years ago. Well, he was an American composer and songwriter. He really, his last name is synonymous with musical theater, Broadway. I mean, he's the guy. And, well, he had one of the greatest mentors ever as well. His mentor was Oscar Hammerstein. That's one of the most famous theatrical producers and lyricists in the world. And this was his protege. And did it work? Yes. This guy wrote the lyrics to West Side Story, the classic, in 1957. Also, Gypsy in 1959. Also, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, Company, A Little Night Music, Sweeney Todd, Into the Woods. These are all extremely famous plays, and he's won numerous awards and nominations, 8 Tony Awards, an Academy Award, 8 Grammy Awards, a Pulitzer Prize, and so much more. This guy is a legend. I was going to say a living legend, but no, he's not living anymore. But I know in New York and the United States, when you say this guy's last name, it's another way of saying musical theater. And this guy is the king. Number 3, this person was born today in 1930. An American minister and broadcaster. He founded a TV station, which I remember my mom used to watch. It was called CBN. Go ahead, ask me. What does CBN stand for? CBN stands for Christian Broadcasting Network. And this guy, more than just a televangelist, he was a media mogul. I mean, he had millions of viewers on his TV station. And he was charismatic. One of these ministers from the United States, these televangelists. And I've got to say something. My mom loved this guy. She loved him. She thought he was, the second coming, the prophet. But all that glitters isn't always gold. And he was a very controversial figure. Well, first, the guy lived like a Rockefeller. Also, he had a very public affair on his wife. He cheated on his wife, which, again, that's not illegal. But if you're preaching every day, the 10 Commandments and being faithful and being honest, it's not a good look. But, well, these guys are always controversial as well. All right, today's 3 famous birthdays. Number 1, Eric Roth. Number 2, Stephen Sondheim. And number 3, Pat Robertson. And that's going to bring us over to today's Say What soundbite. This is Pat Robertson. And he's talking about, he's kind of justifying why he cheated on his wife, which one thing is cheating on your wife, and another thing is trying to justify it in front of millions of people who used to adore you. And he says, this is incredible. This is even sexist, I would say. Does he provide a home for you to live in? ¿Te da una casa en donde tú puedes vivir? Because, women can't work. But again, this is also taken from some decades ago, but still, it's not the right answer. This is not how you fix a problem. And so he says, does he provide a home for you to live in? Does he provide food for you to eat? He's talking about a man for his wife. Males have a tendency to wander a little bit. Los hombres tienen una tendencia de deambular un poco. Ah, qué cachondo. Oh, how nice. Not me. And he says, what you want to do is make a home so wonderful that he doesn't want to wander. Lo que tú quieres, o sea, la culpa es de su mujer porque no ha hecho la casa tan maravillosa que él no quiera, deambular, irse por ahí a buscarlo. So, yeah, wow. Hard to understand. Now, he is from the South. As if you didn't notice it, I imagine many of you noticed that. He was born in Lexington, Virginia. And, well, here he is, birthday boy, Pat Robertson. Oh, yeah.
Does he provide a home for you to live in? Does he provide food for you to eat? Males have a tendency to wander a little bit. And what you want to do is to make a home so wonderful that he doesn't want to wander.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric. Name that lyric. Name that lyric. Name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And right now we're going to hear a song written by birthday boy Stephen Sondheim. If you aren't familiar, you can always go to Spotify or even YouTube and Google, or you can just Google it, Sondheim Greatest Hits. And this is a song called Being Alive. It's from a musical called Company. And I'll dedicate this to my mom, who loves musical theater, and she has instilled, inculcado, she has instilled this in me. Let's take a look at the lyrics. Someone to hold you too close. Alguien que te abrace, que te sujete demasiado cerca. Someone to hurt you too deep. Alguien que te puede herir con demasiada profundidad. Someone to sit in your chair. Alguien que puede sentarse en tu asiento. To ruin your sleep. Arruinarte tu sueño, ¿no? Cuando estás durmiendo. That's true, but there's more than that. Eso es la verdad, pero hay más. It's that all you think, is that all you think there is to it? Eso es lo que crees es el amor, solo eso? You've got so many reasons for not being with someone. Tienes tantas razones por no estar con alguien. You've got one good reason for being alone. Come on, you're on to something. And this is a great expression. If you're on to something, ahí tienes algo, sigue por ahí. Good idea, you're on to something. So then he says again, you're on to something. Someone to need you too much. Alguien que te necesite demasiado. Someone to know you too well. Alguien que te conozca demasiado bien. The song is called Being Alive, and it's Stephen Sondheim. If you want to Google the lyrics, you can do that. We'll be right back with part 4 of today's show with no name. Welcome back, amigos. Welcome back. This is part 4 of today's show with no name. And I've got something very special for you today, folks. A little surprise. Since it's the holiday season, you, Show with No Namers, have a sneak peek at the Easter episode of FYI. It hasn't even come out yet. It's not going to be out till next Friday, but you guys can hear it right now. Spring has finally sprung. The beautiful flower buds are starting to blossom and bloom as the birds chirp. Consequentially, the countryside will be quite colorful and full of tons of contrasting sights, sounds, and smells. Let's commence this spectacular season with a fantastic feast while we hunt for Easter eggs that may have been left behind by that beloved bunny.
Meow. What's up, Doc?
No, not you, Bugs Bunny. Join me as we stuff our faces with friends and family on the exciting Easter episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info. English. You got it. Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of FYI. And folks, you can probably hear it in my voice already. I'm a bit stuffed up, so you might hear me blowing my nose or sneezing. But if that does happen, don't worry, I will edit it out. But I thought I would just teach you that vocabulary. Sonar los mocos. Hey, it's something that you have to do in allergy season. And today we're going to be talking a lot about the spring. Because as I said in the intro, spring has finally sprung. And to spring is to show up. And sprung is the third column, the past participle. It's an idiomatic expression that we often use with spring. And if you heard at the beginning, I also took a deep breath. Let's do that right now. It feels really good. Inhale, exhale, and get ready to learn some exciting English. I also said in the intro, the beautiful flower buds are starting to blossom. And you might remember some of this vocabulary from our gardening episode. The bud is the unopened flower, capullo. Oh, no, I'm not insulting you. I'm telling you what it's called. Bud, which is weird because capullo is idiot or jerk in English, and bud is amigo. That's weird. And to blossom is another way of saying to bloom. I think many of you remember that series that was on TV, the sitcom, Blossom. I used to watch it religiously. Okay, I admit it. Then I said the birds cheerfully chirp. And birds chirp or tweet. Does that sound familiar? Chirp, 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 tweet, tweet, tweet. We all know that from Twitter as well. Just remember, if you write the word tweet in English, it's not T-W-I-T, it's T-W-E-E-T. Twit is capullo. Hey, that went full circle. Then I said, consequentially, the countryside will be quite colorful and full of tons of contrasting sights and smells. I love the smell of spring. I don't know about you guys, but I love it when the flowers are starting to bloom. You can smell different smells in the air, and there's a certain newness in the air as well. Then I said, let's commence this spectacular season with a fantastic feast. And did you like that word? Commence? Comenzar? Okay, we copied you there. But who doesn't want a fantastic feast? I think you say festin, a big meal. And of course, we have to hunt for Easter eggs. And we're going to talk about how the Easter egg hunt tradition began. And of course, we'll talk a little bit about that beloved Easter bunny as he goes hop, hop, hop. And of course, the most famous bunny, Bugs Bunny, whose famous catchphrase in English is, "Yeah, what's up, Doc?" My daughter loves imitating him. She also imitates Daffy Duck. "This is despicable." Remember, imitation is so important when we're learning a language. So are you ready to stuff your faces? That means to pig out, to eat a lot, to chow down. All right, well, friends and family, jump on board as we discover Easter. Oh, and happy Easter. So let's start out with the date. When is Easter? Easter is a mystery. It changes. The date changes from year to year. It always falls on a Sunday, but the actual date depends on the moon cycles. And more specifically, it's the Sunday after the Paschal full moon. And that rings a bell. Paschal, Pascual de Pascua, and a full moon is obviously una luna llena. So it's another holiday that has to do with the seasons and the changing of the moons and the sun and the stars and all the constellations, stuff that I don't even know the first thing about, but I still find fascinating. But as we looked at in many episodes, Halloween, it's about the change in seasons, the harvest, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Even though they have their religious roots, they all have something to do with the changing. A new beginning, a new season, a new moon. So let's define Easter. Easter is also called Pascha, not Pasha, like that club in Ibiza. It's also called Resurrection Sunday, and it is a Christian festival and cultural holiday. Careful with that word, cultural. I've heard people say cool, right? It's cultural. And it commemorates the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, when he rises from the dead and comes back on the third day. This is described in the New Testament, which, by the way, if you haven't heard the FYI episode on the Bible with my mom, give it a listen. My mom is awesome. Or as I always tell people, the way to remember the pronunciation of bomb, my mom is the bomb. So according to the New Testament, on the third day after his burial, Jesus rose from the grave. As the Bible says, he was crucified. And this is the culmination of what is called the Passion of Jesus Christ. It's preceded by Lent or Great Lent. We just call it Lent. I think you say Cuaresma. Well, this is a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. And to fast is to go without food. How do you say desayunar in English? Breakfast. Okay, but if you split the words up, break fast. Romper la ayuna. Desayunar. It's a good way to remember. It's also a regular verb. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. Christians commonly refer to the week before Easter as Holy Week. You say the same thing, Semana Santa. And in Western Christianity, it begins on Palm Sunday. You say Domingo de Ramos. We call it Palm Sunday. And then you've got Spy Wednesday, which is the betrayal of Jesus. Then you've got Maundy Thursday, which commemorates the washing of the feet at the Last Supper. And the Last Supper is La Última Cena. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, isn't it the last dinner? Well, yes, supper is another way to say it. And this painting is called The Last Supper. Here's a little trivia question for you. Where can you find this famous painting, The Last Supper? Did you say Milan? Nice job. You really know your art. And then, of course, you've got Good Friday. And I think that's always a funny one. Que tengas buen Viernes Santo. Have a Good Friday. And obviously, it was not a Good Friday. This commemorates the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Easter is also linked to Passover. And growing up in New York around a lot of Jewish people, I knew a lot about Passover. And this is the Exodus from Egypt. It's recorded in the Old Testament through the Last Supper, sufferings, and the crucifixion that obviously precede the resurrection. And according to this, Jesus gave the Passover meal. Again, there's the meal, there's sharing. And he gave this meal a new meaning. He supposedly identified the bread and the cup of wine as his body, soon to be sacrificed, and his blood soon to be shed. We all know this now. It's represented in the communion. And obviously, depending on what religion you follow, you'll have different ideas, different beliefs. Even within Christianity, Easter is usually a public holiday, especially in countries where Christianity is a state religion or where most of the population is Christian. But think about it. As Easter always falls on a Sunday, well, you don't get a day off, at least not in the United States. Some people move it on over to Monday and they give you Monday off. Again, usually not in the United States. Also, Good Friday tends to be a holiday as well in many of the countries that celebrate Easter. And if you've got the day off, it's definitely a Good Friday. And you'll even find on Good Friday that many financial institutions, stock markets, and public schools are closed. And if they're normally open on Easter Sunday, well, obviously they close that Sunday as well. In the Nordic countries, Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday are public holidays. In Denmark, Iceland, and Norway, Maundy Thursday is also a public holiday. So every region has their own celebrations and decides how many days off you'll get. Because that's the question we all want to know. How many days off do we get? Let's take a look at some traditions right now. Some Easter traditions we'll find are sunrise services, services at the crack of dawn. A service is a mass. Also, you'll find late night vigils and midnight masses. Churches are also very floral. They decorate them with a lot of flowers. Again, we're announcing a new beginning. Spring has come. The Lord has risen. It's very common for women to wear Easter bonnets. Easter bonnets are these very decorative hats. They even have Easter bonnet competitions, which we'll talk about in the bonus part. And we'll look at some idiomatic expressions. There's one that comes to mind with bonnets, but we'll look at that in the bonus episode. We'll also take a look at spring break destinations in the United States. We'll take a look at it in pop culture. We'll also take a look at the dark side of these Easter celebrations. Oh, yes, there's always a dark side. And of course, some fun facts and tons of idiomatic expressions. All that and much more in the bonus episode of this week's FYI. If you want access to that bonus episode, plus PDF documents where you can follow along, and you can even get classes with me where we review the vocabulary from each episode. And if that's not enough, you can even get private classes with me. But all of that is over on patreon.com/Alberto Alonso. I think there are 180 of us in the community right now, and it is absolutely mind-blowing. Thank you so much, guys, for wanting to be a part of my community, for contributing to my community, and keep up the great work. You know who you are. In fact, I'd like to take a moment right now to send a shout out to all my patrons, especially my super duper students, Marta, Javier, Paco, Roberto, and my interstellar students, the ones who get a private class with me every month, along with the review classes every week. Give it up for Carmen, Lina, Isa, Paco, David, Jose Maria, Patricio, and Edgar. If you want to find out more, go over to patreon.com/Alberto Alonso and join our curious community. Other traditions that are associated with Easter are Easter parades. And you don't even have to be religious to go to an Easter parade. Parades are fun, and don't let anybody rain on your parade. Did you like that joke? All right, it wasn't that funny. But did you know that idiomatic expression? I won't let anybody rain on my parade. Nadie me va a amargar la fiesta. In some parts of Eastern Europe, you have communal dancing. Hey, that might be a good place for you to go, Jose Maria. You can go there for Easter one year and practice your communal dancing, your traditional Easter communal dancing. A shout out to Jose Maria, one of my students, who's also a dance student. Of course, we already mentioned the Easter bunny and Easter egg hunts. But there's also food that's made, traditional breads that are made, traditional dishes. And depending on what region or culture you live in, they're different. Some are the same, such as jelly beans. Jelly beans and chocolate. Oh, is anybody getting hungry? Anybody here with a sweet tooth? I gotta say, I'm not really a chocolate lover, but I love jelly beans. Well, did you know that 16 billion jelly beans are produced in the United States every year? Yeah, that is a lot of jelly beans. If you put them together end to end, they could circle the earth more than 5 times. Just a little fun foodie fact there. And we'll take a look at more fun foodie facts in the bonus episode. But whether you're having chocolate eggs or chocolate bunnies, chocolate is huge. And please, please don't say chocolate. It's chocolate. Say it with me. Chocolate. And if you haven't heard the FYI episode on chocolate, give it a listen. The first thing I cover in the episode is how to pronounce it correctly. But I will warn you, the episode may cause hunger. So when did this Easter bunny show up? Well, I don't know when he showed up in the world, but I can tell you when he showed up in the United States. It was the 18th century, and Germans who immigrated to America brought this tradition called Osterhase. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but they brought it with them. And this was basically the tradition of a bunny who magically laid eggs. So the Easter bunny appeared in the United States in the 1700s. I didn't know he was that old, or she. Well, it is androgynous. And what about dyeing eggs or decorating eggs? I love doing this. In fact, some of my earliest Easter memories are sitting around the table with my mom and my sister and my cousins and dyeing eggs. And no, I don't mean dyeing muriendo. I mean dyeing teñir. But I had no idea as a little kid that the egg is an ancient symbol of new life and rebirth. And in Christianity, it's become associated with Jesus's crucifixion and resurrection. But the custom of the Easter egg originated in the early Christian community of Mesopotamia. And there, they stained eggs red in memory of the blood of Christ, the blood that he shed at his crucifixion. Also, the Easter egg is a symbol of the empty tomb. I had no idea that those traditions went back so far. I thought we were just coloring eggs and making them look cool. Oh, and I recommend you use hard-boiled eggs. And of course, you can eat them afterwards. No need to waste food. Nowadays, too, you see a lot of people replacing real eggs with plastic eggs or chocolate eggs or, maybe plastic ones filled with jelly beans. There's no wrong way to do an Easter egg hunt. And when did this Easter egg hunt thing start? We're getting there, trust me. It just wouldn't be Easter if I didn't mention Peeps, because we already mentioned chocolate and we also mentioned jelly beans. But what about Peeps? Do you peeps know what Peeps are? Peeps is another way of saying gente, my peeps. But Peeps are also these little marshmallow candies that are sugar covered. And they're very popular, not all year round. They're very popular during Easter. If you haven't tried Peeps, they're awesome. They're addictive. But I didn't realize that the idea behind the sweets is that a lot of people give up sweets for Lent. So obviously, Easter Sunday, they're finally able to have something sweet. It makes total sense. Now we're getting to the famous Easter egg hunt. And I want to send a shout out to my Aunt Grace, who used to be our Easter bunny. Oh, yeah, I know. My parents did a great job. But my Aunt Grace, for some reason, she really loved this holiday and she would go all out. Lo daba todo. And I remember her hiding Easter eggs all around my grandmother's yard, and we would spend what felt like hours hunting for Easter eggs just to see who would get the most. And it was magical, to say the least. I have a huge beaming smile on my face right now. So again, it's like every holiday. It's got the meaning that you attach to it. In this case, whether you're religious or not, it's a time to be with your friends and family. I mean, who doesn't like Semana Santa? It's that break before the summer that you really, really need, that spring break. And we'll talk about that in the bonus part, because spring break, when we say that in the United States, something else comes to mind. Party! Woo! But right now, we're going to go back to 1875. The British chocolate company Cadbury, the famous Cadbury eggs, if you haven't tried those, they're excellent. They sponsored an annual Easter egg hunt. This was in the UK, and that caught on like wildfire. It eventually spread to the United States, where now on Easter Monday, the President of the United States holds the annual Easter egg roll. This takes place on the White House lawn, and it's aimed at children. So the way the egg roll works is this. You have to be 13 and under. Obviously, it's not open to everybody. I don't know how you would sign up. Well, anyway, that's besides the point. But it was started in the United States by Dolly Madison, the wife of President James Madison. They started the event in 1814, and it's still practiced to this day. This tradition with children on the White House lawn rolling eggs. And the way it works is they push an egg through the grass with a long-handled spoon. Obviously, the Easter Bunny makes an appearance. There are speeches. There's a band. I mean, it's a very festive experience. But don't take my word for it. Why don't we listen to former President Trump presenting the Easter egg roll when he was president? As you can see, it's a time when everybody puts their politics aside, and I think the main goal is to make sure the kids have fun and enjoy this amazing holiday. Let's go to the White House lawn.
Well, welcome to the 2018 White House Easter egg roll. So many people, you know, it's supposed to be pouring, the weather. It was supposed to be very rainy and nasty and cold and windy. And look what we have. Perfect weather. Perfect weather. Beautiful weather. Thank you all for being here, folks. Thank you all. I want to really thank the First Lady, Melania, who has done an incredible job. She worked so hard on this event, and so I want to thank you. That's beautiful. Also, I want to thank the White House Historical Association and all of the people that worked so hard with Melania, with everybody, to keep this incredible house or building or whatever you want to call it, because there really is no name for it. It is special. And we keep it in tip-top shape. We call it sometimes tippy-top shape. And it's a great, great place. It's an honor to have everybody on behalf of the Trump family, many of whom are with us right here in the audience. I just want to thank you. This is a special year. Our country is doing great. You look at the economy, you look at what's happening. Nothing's ever easy, but we have never had an economy like we have right now. And we're going to make it bigger and better and stronger. Our military is now at a level, will soon be at a level that it's never been before. It's, you see what's happening, and you see what's happening with funding. The funding of our military was so important, and so many military people are with us today. So just think of $700 billion, because that's all going into our military this year. So I want to thank you all for being here. The band, unbelievable. I love you people. I hear them a lot. They're as talented as anybody and any players anywhere. So thank you very much. And now I'm going to come down and we're going to watch this roll. Thank you all and have a great time. Thank you. Happy Easter. Thank you very much.
Well, we have reached the end of the first part. I sure hope you'll join us in the bonus episode of this week's FYI.